Hey, George.
Hey, Nick.
Sorry to interrupt this episode of Reslayer's Take, but we have to tell the people about ButcherBox.
Oh, yeah. Listen, friends, we only do ads for sponsors we think are great, and ButcherBox is on our good list.
ButcherBox sent us each a customized box of high-quality meat, and they were so freaking good. It's so convenient having a box of incredible meat in your freezer without ever having to step foot in a grocery store.
And the greatest part? This antibiotic-free and humanely raised meat comes with plenty of curated tips and recipes. So whipping up awesome dinners is a cinch.
These prices are impossible to beat for the quality, and where the heck else can you get free protein for a whole dang year? Not the grocery store. So sign up at butcherbox.com/reslayer and get our special deal.
ButcherBox is offering our listeners a free for a year offer plus an additional $20 off. Choose chicken breast, salmon, or ground beef free in every order for a year. Sign up today at butcherbox.com/reslayer and use code RESLAYER to choose your free for a year offer, plus $20 off your first order.
Let's get grilling.
What's up, everybody? It's George from the Reslayer's Take. Hey, do you remember that feeling of your first critical hit? Or are you one of those people who are getting ready to start their first journey? I have a show for you. It's called Girls Who Don't D&D, because none of this all-female team of players had ever joined a D&D game before, or any other role-playing game. They go from learning which dice is what to challenging the gods themselves. They are surrounded by a beautiful and chaotic environment that has been described as a cross between Terry Pratchett's Discworld and Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and it's a world you can be a part of too. That's because their listeners perform pre-recorded sections that fit into each show. How cool is that? Those parts and the rest of the show sound amazing, with carefully added music and effects that bring a touch of the cinematic to your experience. I think the most amazing thing is that they were complete amateurs when they started, and you should really hear how far they've come. It really does make you feel like you're sitting at the table with them. You can join this group of unassuming Australians, otherwise known as the Girls Who Don't D&D, on any device that lets you stream podcasts. But I'm warning you, this one is addictive, heartwarming, and heartbreaking, and very, very funny. And I hope you enjoy. Bye-bye! Welcome to the Reslayer's Take. I'm George Primavera.
And I'm Nick Williams. In this podcast, George and I lead a group of players through an exciting improvised adventure in Exandria, the magical world of Critical Role.
We're playing Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, but you won't need to know the rules to follow along. All you need to know is that nothing the players do is scripted or planned, and their fates are determined by their own cleverness and the random chance of rolling a 20-sided die.
You can listen to new episodes of the Reslayer's Take every Monday, anywhere you stream podcasts.
Or if you want to listen to the podcast 2 weeks early and uninterrupted by ads, join Beacon at beacon.tv.
Last but certainly not least, if you're enjoying the story, please consider leaving a rating and review. Your feedback might inspire someone new to join this adventure.
Now, without further ado,
welcome to the Reslayer's Take.
The tension is tangible as the Reslayers stand frozen on the boardwalk of Josquin's Hollow, made even more claustrophobic by the stinking, humid air of the swamp. The floating, fungal willow whispers begin to descend upon the party, who have frozen for a moment as they quickly decide what to do. The shapes of open mouths and wild eyes momentarily appear in the round clouds of rot as their creeping whispering crescendos. As these things descend, your spectral weapons activate.
Everybody just stay still. They can't see you if you're staying completely quiet and still.
As Timpani whispers, these spore clouds twitch and seem to orient towards him for a moment. Everybody roll a stealth check.
7, 15,
10,
22.
Nat 20.
Farah, make a Constitution saving throw.
9.
bless you.
The spores launch forward.
Idrin runs towards Frog and whispers, I have an idea that might work. Idrin holds the holy water and readies an action.
You got it, buddy.
Frog gently places poos on the ground and runs over to meet Idrin.
Here, take the holy water and throw it at the spores.
Okay.
Frog grabs the holy water from Idrin's hand, steps closer to the willow whispers, and chucks the holy water as hard as she can.
Idrin casts Enlarge.
The vial of holy water suddenly expands to be a jug of holy water, and keeping its momentum, rockets towards the Will-O-Wisps. Frog, make an attack roll.
24.
The glass jug of holy water explodes against the wooden dock, the blessed water sprays everywhere, and one of the spory ghosts is seared with the radiant or holy light.
6 radiant damage.
While the Will-O-Wisper twitches, it seems that the sound of the glass hitting the deck is what irritates it more than the searing radiance. It angrily shoots down to the ground, trying to attack the source of the noise, dealing itself an additional 1 radiant damage as it makes contact. Irritated by the shattering glass and with a target right in front of them, in the form of Issylra, the 3 Will-O-Wispers that now remain on the dock shoot towards her. One of them engulfs Issylra's whole head. Make a Constitution saving throw.
19.
Issylra, you're able to hold your breath in time, taking none of the poison damage that it attempts to deal to you. However, the other 2 Will-O-Wispers coming up on either side of you extend a wispy gray tendril that seems to come from their core. The first attack is a miss as you deftly step out of the way, but the second attack makes contact with your shoulder. You take 6 necrotic damage.
Issylra slips the withering touch, halving the damage.
She takes 3 damage, bringing her down to 35 points of health.
Issylra uses her reaction to cast Hellish Rebuke.
The Will-O-Wisper shifts, avoiding most of the hellish rebuking fire, succeeding the save and taking half damage.
4 fire damage.
Although the fire damage is minor, the Will-O-Wisper has already taken a significant amount of radiant damage, and it looks like it's beginning to lose its form. And then, from the alleyways of several buildings, 4 more clouds of spores descend onto the battlefield.
Farah concentrates on her attuned crossbow, activating Rite of the Dawn. The crossbow radiates a light of 20 feet. Farah aims at the bloodied Will-O-Wispers and shoots. 14.
The spectral bolt flies through the air, but the Will-O-Wisper easily ducks it.
Farah shakes it off, takes aim, and shoots again. 22.
This one is a direct hit. Roll damage.
8 piercing damage, 4 radiant damage.
When the bolt passes through the Will-O-Wisper, there is a scream, a flash of light, and the spores drift down to the dock, no longer held together by the spiritual entity. Farah, make a nature check.
16.
In that flash of light, before the creature disperses, you feel like you might be seeing the image of an aberration or otherworldly monster that you have encountered before. A gibbering mouther. But this image disappears, and the only thing you can still see are the black swirling collections of spores.
Unsure of where the weakness in this creature's defenses lie, Issylra instead unsheaths her rapier and strikes into the heart of it.
Roll an attack.
25.
Hit. Roll damage.
12.
You stab your rapier forward into the heart of this creature, and it reacts, definitely taking some damage. But when you thrust forward, you notice that the spores swerve, as if you're trying to catch dust particles in the sunlight. It seems resistant to this damage despite the magical qualities of your weapon.
Issylra turns back to the rest of the group and says, a little bit of help, please?
Timpani, where are you?
Suddenly next to Poogs, under the narrow boardwalk, Timpani grabs his waist and pulls him down with him.
Look! Timpani,
Shh. I'm just trying to get you to a safe place.
we're standing in quicksand.
Oh, geez, not again.
Jordyn puts his left hand over the top of his right, brings his hands to his chest, and then shoots them forward. Fide plad ignus! As a blaze of blue flame erupts from his hands towards the Whisper as he casts Burning Hands.
The Will-O-Wisper fails the dexterity saving throw. Roll damage.
6 fire damage.
With a plan in mind, Frog runs towards the closest Will-O-Wisper. Concentrating her ki, Frog makes 3 strikes against it, with the intent of learning more about this creature.
Roll 3 attacks.
25, nat 20, 24.
3 hits. Roll damage.
30 damage.
The spores shift around Frog's punching fists, which do connect with some kind of thick spectral goo invisible at the center of these spores. Upon each impact, a little mote of light springs into existence at the Will-O-Wisper's location. It is still resistant to this damage, halving it to 15, but Frog learns some vital information.
Analyzing.
This creature is immune to poison, necrotic, and physical damage from non-magical weapons. It is also resistant to acid damage based on its nature. And because of how it swirls through the air, acting like a kind of fungal swarm, it is also resistant to lightning and bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage from even magical weapons. The Will-O-Wispers cannot be charmed, are immune to exhaustion and fear, and they cannot be grappled, paralyzed, petrified, or poisoned. They cannot be restrained, and they cannot be knocked prone. However, the thing that sticks out the most in your mind, when you slam through this creature's form and bash your fist into the wooden wall past it, is how it jerks and twitches at the loud noise your fist makes. These creatures are vulnerable to thunder damage.
Hey everybody, it seems like sound is your best option.
Ignoring Frog's shouting, the Will-O-Wispers attack their nearest targets. One of them charges towards Jordyn, shaking off the burn spores that fall away from it. Jordyn, make a Constitution saving throw as it attempts to swarm up your nose.
19.
Jordyn effectively plugs up his nose and prevents the creature from poisoning him.
Stay out of here!
Frog, the Will-O-Wisper nearest you, on its last legs, also attempts to poison you. Make a Constitution saving throw with advantage because of your robotic nature.
Nat 20.
It cannot find an entry point whatsoever.
Not today.
Farah, standing in the center of the boardwalk, sees a Will-O-Wisper charge her from the alleyway. Make a Constitution saving throw.
6.
The Will-O-Wisper engulfs your head. You take 7 points of poison damage, and you are poisoned, making all of your future attacks and ability checks with disadvantage. Hira, one of the Will-O-Wispers, reaches forward with its withering touch. You take 3 points of necrotic damage.
Once again, Hira is going to uncannily dodge out of the way of the tendril, turning a striking blow into a glancing one.
And that damage is halved to 1 point of necrotic damage, bringing her down to 34 points of health.
Farah does her best to aim her magic crossbow at the Will-O-Wispers 30 feet away from her.
Roll an attack with disadvantage because of your poisoning.
12.
The bolt goes wide.
Farah takes a deep breath and shoots again. 7.
Another wide bolt. Farah's deep breath causes her to inhale a ton of spores. Farah continues to sneeze uncontrollably.
Achoo! Achoo! Achoo!
Frog's advice echoing in Hira's mind, her two tiefling horns almost reverberate as an energy collects between them, and she casts Thaumaturgy 30 feet away and creates a rumble of thunder.
Roll a performance check with advantage.
21.
The rumble of thunder causes the wood of the building near Frog to shake. It is an extremely loud boom. All of the Will-O-Wispers twitch, and the ones near Hira almost seem to look past her as the bulging eyes that once in a while form from the spores focus on Frog. The Will-O-Wisper near Frog, directly at the source of this noise, seems to shrink Frog. You realize that in this form, the creature is no longer resistant to magical attacks from physical weapons, as it withdraws on itself, giving up its swarming nature.
Make a lot of noise. It seems to make them more punchable.
In that case, we should get Timpani out here. I've heard empty vessels make more noise.
Cutting below the boardwalk of Joshgrin's Hollow, we see Poogs and Timpani trying not to drown.
Keep my head above the swamp. Timpani, you're pulling me under.
Timpani, doing the exact opposite of what he's supposed to be doing, making his body a rigid straight line, is sinking much faster than before. I'm trying, Poogs.
Timpani, no! I'll scoop it out! Jordyn moves to position himself between the two whispers after hearing Frog's shout.
As you move away, one of the whispers reaches out with its spectral tendril and attempts to necrotize you. It makes contact. You take 3 points of necrotic damage, bringing Jordyn down to 29 points of health.
Sound it is then. Jordyn takes a breath and claps his hands together as hard as he can, casting Thunder Wave at first level.
Both of the Will-O-Whispers fail to save.
2 points of thunder damage.
This clap of thunder echoes throughout the entire landscape. It is unfocused, dealing only minimal damage to these Will-O-Whispers near Jordyn. Even still, the damage is doubled to 4 points of thunder damage each. And because of this loud rumble, all of the Will-O-Whispers temporarily shrink and seemingly become very irritable. The whispering intensifies. Hira and Farah only barely hear the whispers through their cotton balls stuffed in their ears. Jordyn, make a wisdom saving throw.
8.
The whispering begins to deafen Jordyn. You feel your senses overloading, stunning you in place.
No, I can do this. Jordyn uses his chronal shift to give himself another chance.
Re-roll your saving throw.
11.
As time seems to wind backward, the thundering echo returning to Jordyn's hands. The chronal shift concludes, the thundering noise explodes out from Jordyn once again, and as the whispering crescendos, he slams his hands to his ears, blocking the whispering from stunning him.
Seeing that her closest foe is on the end of its rope, Frog brings up her fists and makes a strike against it.
Roll an attack.
24.
Hit, roll damage.
5 damage.
Frog launches her metal fist forward, and the spore explodes on contact, the black mold falling to the earth.
One down. More to go.
Frog dashes over to the Will of Whispers that is currently encasing Farah.
Roll the rest of your attacks.
17, 19,
2 hits, roll damage.
18.
And that Will-O-Whisper dissipates. The 2 whispers previously knocked back by Jordyn's thunderclap converge on him, and both of them attack him. Spectral tendrils reach out. One of them, Jordyn is easily able to sidestep and avoid. But as he does, he finds himself firmly on the sticking end of another of the ghostly tendrils. Jordyn takes 5 points of necrotic damage, bringing him down to 24 points of health. 2 of the spores shoot towards Jordyn, attracted by his loud spell. And as they separate from Hira, she is able to strike at one of them.
Hira finds the opening she needs and attacks at one of them with her rapier. 22.
Hit, roll damage.
10.
The now severely injured spore cloud, getting completely stuck on Hira's spectral rapier, painfully dislodges itself from the blade and continues to head towards Farah.
Farah takes aim at the closest one by her.
Roll 2 attacks with disadvantage.
13,
The bolt goes wide.
10.
And another miss. Farah cannot get her breathing under control.
I'm fine. No, okay, I'm not.
Hira runs forward closer to where Frog is engaged with one of the Will-O-Whispers and attempts to surprise it with a rapier attack. 17.
The blade pierces through. Roll damage.
16.
With a scream, the spore cloud dissipates around Hira's rapier. Meanwhile, below the boardwalk,
Jordyn notices that there's only 3 whispers left, and he shoots a firebolt at the whisper engaged with his companions.
roll an attack with disadvantage as the Will-O-Whispers adjacent to you try to hamper your firebolt.
17.
Just barely a hit.
9 fire damage.
The Will-O-Whisper shrieks as the firebolt makes contact.
Jordyn starts to feel a bit of fear, but he holds on tightly to the beads that give him courage.
Feeling the heat of battle, Frog reaches out and strikes at the closest Will-O-Whisper. 13.
The Will-O-Whisper avoids your fist with a quick shift.
Dirty 20.
The follow-up hit connects.
10 damage.
It bursts into 1,000 spores that float to the ground useless.
Feeling spurred on by Jordyn's fiery bravery, Frog dashes towards him and the Will-O-Whispers closest to him.
Roll 2 attacks.
22,
Hit.
9,
Miss. Roll damage for the 1 attack.
7 damage.
You didn't think you'd take them all yourself, right?
Hi, Frog.
Farah, going through the motions at this point, points and shoots twice. 7.
Farah heartily coughs, and the bolt passes through the wooden floor, disappearing.
Sorry. Farah aims and shoots again. Natural 1.
Farah, feeling deeply sick now from her exposure to the spores, sees the world in front of her blur, points the crossbow forward, fires it, and it heads directly for Frog. But because it is a spectral bolt, it passes directly through her chest.
No skin off my bones. I don't have skin or bones.
Frog, this isn't the time!
Hera is going to strike at the Will-O-Wisper currently engaged with Frog. Nat 20.
Roll damage.
35.
Effortlessly, Hera slashes the thing in half. The spores seem to separate for a moment and then puff away into the air, shapeless. All of a sudden, everyone hears a thumping from below their feet.
Frog, where's Timpani?
I thought he would have been hiding out somewhere. Maybe eating tuna.
We're not eating tuna, we're drowning him! Edrin moves around to the other side of the Will-O-Wisper. Timpani! Poogs! Cover your ears! Edrin casts Thunderwave at 2nd level.
The Will-O-Wisper fails the save.
19 points of thunder damage.
Doubled to 38 points of thunder damage. The last Will-O-Wisper disintegrates as the weak wood at your feet also splinters apart. The whispers fade away, moving deeper into the swamp, and suddenly all is quiet, except for a gurgling sound underneath your feet. Stuck in the quicksand, you see Poogs held up by 2 Furbolg arms from a body and head you cannot see.
He's under the swamp!
Frog rushes over to the hole in the wooden floor and reaches for Poogs.
Poogs grabs your arm.
Oh, thank you. Quick, get him! Edrin reaches down and grabs Timpani.
As Frog assists you, roll an athletics check.
14.
Oh, the quicksand! 8th time in 6 months.
Statistically, that is a lot of times to come into contact with quicksand.
The last of the remaining Will-O-Wispers vanquished, the town returns to its former quiet. The whispering no longer audible.
How are you guys looking? How was the fight? Can I heal anybody up?
Everyone looks over at Farah.
Wow, we did it. I helped. I think I'm gonna be sick.
Timpani holds up a finger and dips back below the boardwalk, avoiding the quicksand this time, takes 1 scoop of wet mud and another scoop of moss and mashes them together in his hands. Here, drink this.
Skeptical, Farah takes it and takes a tiny sip at first.
And as she does, the poison begins to leave her body, as Timpani casts Lesser Restoration. Just trust me and drink it.
Farah continues to drink.
Behind you, standing at the door of the biggest building in town, is a short human fellow with slicked back hair and a smart forest green suit with golden piping. He wears a great big bright red necktie-like accessory and waves the party over frantically.
Yes, you! All of you! Just come, quickly! Don't lollygag!
Lollygag?
What about the small child? Hera goes and presses her nose against the glass.
That's a little scary, Hera.
Why?
Because we're technically strangers?
No, I'm not a stranger. That small child is my friend.
Hera turns back to the glass and sees the child, with their nose pressed up against the glass as well, eyes wide in admiration.
Timpani wipes his muddy hand on his barn coat, leaving a giant muddy handprint, and trudges over towards the Whispering Man.
Edrin follows.
Farah follows but examines the man, trying to determine his intention.
Roll an insight check.
12.
The man looks surprisingly well kept, considering how bad the disrepair of the town is.
Frog slowly follows behind, writing down a very descriptive recap of the battle that was just fought.
You guys go on in. I'll keep an eye out.
Yes, that's fine, just come on!
Timpani, Poogs, Frog, and Edrin end up inside an administration building, covered wall to wall in luxurious fabrics and bedsheets, creating an extreme sound dampening effect. The door closes behind them. In the corner sits a desk with a stack of papers on it, as well as some writing implements. Unfurled on the desk is a sketched out outdoor floor plan of booths and pop-up shops, labeled Potion Con Space Rental. An enormous painting of this man in dark velvet robes sits propped up in the corner, looking quite regal, with a much stronger chin than this man actually possesses.
Oh, thank you so much for your gracious assistance. My name is Von Josgrin Jr. I am the mayor and comptroller of this fine marsh paradise, and you are this town's saviors.
Oh, Josgrin, like what this place is called.
Like the eponymous name of the town, that's correct.
What came first, you or the town?
Oh, I am so glad you asked. My family has run the administration of this fine township since, well, before I can remember. And under my watch, it has become the most thriving swamptropolis in the greater Marrow-Glade-Lock area.
Compared to what, exactly? Because there's moss, ghosty things everywhere.
Oh, sure. We've certainly had our recent misfortunes, and I will admit to a little bit of a whoopsie on my part. But just look at all of you. I mean, it's no shock to me that Josgrin's Hollow has attracted such wonderful, helpful folks.
When you say on your part, is this your fault?
My fault? My fault? Oh, no, of course not. I mean, what do I look like? Some kind of nefarious mage or something?
Kind of, yes.
Yeah, and like the gold piping on the green suit is like a little bit.
Well, in terms of the gold piping, you have a keen eye for value. I will say, first of all, that this coat was a gift from Vord the Silver-Touched himself when I visited the Dawn City. That said, I am not necessarily proud of this, but we did have a bit of a forewarning. You see, right before PotionCon, this song-peddling busker showed up to reap the benefits of our tourism. But he was, shall we say, singing a different tune than I expected. When he got into town, he started warning anyone who would listen that a ghost cloud was in the marsh and we had to cancel the festivities, which is obviously complete rubbish and totally unacceptable. I mean, you understand, cancel it? Anyway, I had him promptly arrested. And really the only thing is, he did turn out to be right, and PotionCon was indeed ruined.
Is he currently arrested?
Yes, currently he does still reside in our town's jail. But you know what? You have my full go-ahead to just break him right out.
Is it breaking out if he's legally being released?
Yeah, that's the thing. I can't publicly let him out of jail, you know? I'm just gonna say, I'm not going to pursue any inquiry if there should be an accident over there at the jail. Do you know what I'm saying, what we're talking about here? No? Okay, let me simplify. In these trying times, it really does help to have someone to blame, right? It's just good politics.
The man walks to the desk and pulls out a large leather pouch.
Before I forget,
Bringing it over to the group.
There's 50 gold pieces for you, and 50 gold pieces for you, and 50 gold pieces for you. And you know, here is the rest for your friends outside. It's not a bribe. It's not a bribe. It's a gift. Yes, we're clear on that? Okay, good. And this conversation, it never happened. I've got an election to win, and I want to be a comptroller 7 years in a row. Just so it's said. Do you vote? It doesn't matter.
Well, I wish you the most luck in your election. But, sir, do you think you know how many people from your town were taken? We're hoping that they're somewhere alive and that we can find them.
Well, a lot of people fled the town, so I don't really know about them. But in terms of the potion congregants that I'm aware of, it seems 5 folks were taken by our count.
And that's probably not counting the group with the tabaxi.
Oh, I forgot about Igor.
Oh, is Igor one of your friends? Do I need to get another 50 pieces of gold for him?
Yes?
Yeah, we'll hold on to it for him.
Got it. Another 50. Good. Well, it seems you have a prison break to carry out. I didn't hear anything, whispers on the wind. But I won't keep you any longer. If you do manage to get rid of this thing, there's more gold where this came from. Good, okay.
The man gestures for you to leave the abode.
Thank you for adventuring into our humble town. And remember, in deep speech, Jasmine means friendship. Oh, it's murder on the throat. All right. Best of luck to you. Yes. Goodbye.
He hustles you out and closes the door behind you. And now for a brief intermission. With the planning, recording, and editing that go into the Reslayer's Take, Nick and I aren't left with a lot of time for exercise.
Luckily, our sponsor, Tonal, has helped us use the time we actually have to create personalized workouts just for us. Tonal learns from your movement and provides suggested weight recommendations for every move, and they even give you detailed reports on your progress.
They create personalized programs and workout suggestions based on your individual goals. Like me, I want the rogue-like agility to backflip over dungeon traps.
And I want the berserker strength to hold a heavy door up for my friends so they can escape the undead hordes thanks to my heroic sacrifice. With Tonal, you can do it all. It's like having a personal trainer at home with you.
Unlike traditional gym equipment, Tonal uses adaptive digital weight to advance your training techniques.
Whether you're a professional athlete or a cake-loving dungeon master like us, Tonal can be trusted to help you become your strongest, most fit self.
Right now, Tonal is offering our listeners $200 off your Tonal purchase with promo code RESLAYER. That's Tonal.com and use promo code RESLAYER for $200 off your purchase.
Tonal.com, promo code RESLAYER for $200 off.
Let's roll those athletics checks.
Creating really great retail experiences is tough, especially with multiple stores, teams of staff, fulfillment centers, separate workflows. It's a lot. But with Shopify Point of Sale, you can do it all without complexity.
Shopify's point of sale system is a unified command center for your retail business. It brings together in-store and online operations even across 1,000 locations.
Imagine being able to guarantee that shopping is always convenient. Endless aisle, ship to customer, buy online, pick up in stores, all made simpler so customers can shop how and where they want and staff have the tools they need to close the sale every time.
And let's face it, acquiring new customers is expensive. With Shopify POS, you can keep existing shoppers coming back to your stores with consistent, tailored experiences and first-party data that give marketing teams a competitive edge.
Want more?
Yeah!
Check it out at shopify.com/r/ all lowercase and learn how to create the best retail experiences without complexity.
That's shopify.com/r/.
Cha-ching!
I'm Nick Friedman.
I'm Lee Alec Murray.
And I'm Leah President. And this is Crunchyroll Presents The Anime Effect.
We are a new show breaking down the anime news, views, and shows you care about each and every week. I can't think of a better studio to bring something like this to life. And
yeah, I agree. We're covering all the classics.
If I don't know a lot about Godzilla, which I do, but I'm trying to pretend that I don't right
Hold
now.
it in, hold it. And our current faves. Luffy must have his due.
Tune in every week for the latest anime updates and possibly a few debates.
Oof.
I remember, what was that?
Say what you're going to say and I'll circle back.
You can listen to Crunchyroll Presents The Anime Effect every Friday wherever you get your podcasts. And watch full video episodes on Crunchyroll or the Crunchyroll YouTube channel.
Now back to the show. Meanwhile, Hira, peering into the window of this house, face to face with a small, admiring child. You hear the door, adjacent to you, open, and the man from before, a portly fellow with a rag over his shoulder and muck coating his arms, invites you inside.
If you'd like to come in, you can take a load off. Thank you for getting rid of those things.
Oh, thank you for welcoming me into your home. And Hira walks in cautiously.
The man eyes Farah, keeping watch outside.
Farah takes one quick look around before deeming it safe to follow Hira.
The man closes the door with a latch.
Sorry, not to seal off your only exit in a home you don't know. We just keep doors closed around here since recent events.
How long has this all been going on?
It's been happening for a few days now. Almost a week.
A week?
Mm-hmm.
And that slimy man across the way?
Comptroller Jasmine. He's in charge of the financial well-being of the town. He's a popular man, won a lot of elections here. His institution of Potion Con has brought a ton of business to Josgrin's Hollow, but he tends to prioritize the finances of the tourism industry over the general upkeep of this place itself. You'll notice the boardwalk ain't exactly in the best shape in a lot of places.
No, it breaks quite easily.
So where does all the income go from the tourism?
Well, you'll have to talk to the comptroller for the full breakdown, and he only tends to give that information out to folks who work for him.
Farah, is it morally wrong to rob a thief?
I see no issue with it.
Should we redistribute some wealth? This small child could do with some better facilities.
That's very kind of you. And not that I'd turn down a sack of gold, but I ain't looking for no trouble. I'm thinking I'll take Delphine out of here either way. It ain't no place to raise a child anymore.
Well, either way, we could do some good for the people that are staying.
That is mighty admirable.
You want to take little Delphine into that bog we just traversed? It's very dangerous.
Oh, I know my way around. Ain't too bad as long as you stick to the path and keep away from the quicksand and such. I can see, perhaps you've had a run-in with it yourself.
He gazes at your filthy pants.
Kira's normally immaculate silks have flakes of mud kind of coming off of them onto the floor. She self-consciously brushes them a little bit, only depositing more mud onto the floor. Yes, we had a friend fall in, and we bravely jumped in to help him.
I see it was clearly a bit of a time. Well, let me do you a favor. Consider it my way of saying thanks. Hang on a sec. Delphine, keep our guests company.
The little girl stares up at both of you, wide eyes, unsure of what to say, while the man retreats into the back for a moment.
How old are you, Delphine?
She holds up 5 fingers.
Hira takes a string from her adventurer's pack and interlaces it between her fingers, making like a spider web, and then tries to teach Delphine how to take it from her.
Curiously, Delphine reaches her little hands forward.
You place your fingers here, and then here, and just pull lightly.
And she pulls the string off of Hira's fingers, giggling to herself, unsure of how she's even done it.
What you got there? That's mighty nice. You ladies feel free to take this just in case y'all get stuck again. Should be enough for 2 doses.
He hands you a vial of silver liquid with 2 doses of a freedom of movement filter.
What is this?
Something me and a couple of the other potion makers concocted for some of the new folk who come into town. Only lasts about 10 minutes, but ain't no muck that can keep you in place if you have a little bit of this in you.
Well, this is very kind of you.
You can take a little bit of jerky while you're at it. And, I hate to kick you out so abruptly, but Delphine and I are in the middle of packing in case we need to make a getaway. Looks like your friends are finished talking to the comptroller.
Yeah, thanks for your help. And, safe travels.
A grateful nod. He holds his hand out to shake.
Farah takes it and gives a firm shake.
Hira shakes his hand, tussles Delphine's hair, and makes her way out the door.
The small child's giggles fade as the door closes behind you, and you are reunited with Timpani, Frog, and Edrin walking out of the comptroller's office.
Farah, Hira, look what we got!
Frog excitedly shakes the large bag of gold coins that they received from the comptroller.
Here's your share.
We were told specifically that this wasn't a bribe, it was a gift. So I know you guys are worried about stuff like that. Not a bribe.
He lied. It was a bribe, but it's okay.
Anyway, the point is, there's this guy, and he apparently was kind of the harbinger of doom on this whole thing. And because of that, he was thrown in jail. And we gotta go break him out, because he probably knows more about what's going on than we currently know about what's going on. Do you know what I mean?
I understand exactly what you mean. He paid you with money he took from these poor people, with which he was supposed to repair their town. Do you not find it just absolutely heart-wrenching that these people are living in hovels and this man lives in a mansion?
Right. And that's why I took his money, so he couldn't keep it.
We cannot keep it either, unless we give this money to the people and then we remove this man, maybe by some colorful means, and take all of his money.
Whoa. I didn't make this group so that we could hurt any people. We got together to fight ghosties. That's all, period. End the story there. Now, if we go and stop this ghost, which I still think it's the best thing for this town. I mean, look around. Timpani gestures to all of the rotten everything. If we stop the ghost, then we can deal with Von Joskren Jr. in a non-violent but just-to-see way. Before that, I think we gotta free this prisoner and go after the ghost in the marsh. And Hera, I think you're the one to take point on this. I mean, you're pretty much the best swindler we've ever met, so I think you should do it.
The party begins to head off towards the edge of Joskren's Hollow, towards the hillock that Von Joskren Jr. pointed out earlier. It becomes visible a few hundred feet away. The jail is built into a hillock at the edge of town. The front door is manned by a large orcish fellow in chainmail, holding a crossbow at his side. He stares ahead with an intense gaze.
Okay, Hera, what's the plan here?
Well, it's quite simple. All of you divert this big man. I go in. Hera pulls a roll from her pocket and unfurls it, revealing silver gleaming tools.
That's perfect. Distracting is what we seem to be really good at.
So what do we do?
Maybe Farah could be our grandma, and she's in trouble, and we need help. Not that I say you're old, but you're just, you've got a lot of life experience under your belt, and so I feel like you could be that figure to a lot of us. Maybe not literally, but maybe, metaphorically?
Frog, when you are in a hole, stop digging.
Is that a metaphor?
Farah, how old are you?
That's not important. What's important is I can still fight. I can still do it, and I feel like we should fight these guys.
Farah, look, I don't think any of us mean any offense when we say that you could definitely 100% pass as any one of our grandparents, and that's great, you know, that you led a rich life before now, and you still have plenty of rich life ahead of you, and if it works for the scheme, all the better.
You're not going to have a lot of life ahead of you, Timpani, if you keep making remarks about Farah's appearance. Farah, I think this is rather simple. What if you were to choreograph some sort of spat with one of these other people that maybe pulls the attention of the guard, since fighting is something that you're very good at? And while he is away, I will simply sneak in, not remove any people, except for our quarry, who will assuredly want to exact revenge on the comptroller, which is also my aligned goal. I will unlock the lock with much ease. I will remove this barge. We will slip out, and in this time, surely you will have figured out a way to engage this man at the front door in some type of conversation, or removed him. I will not bother myself with the details, but you know, Farah, maybe you can just fake a fight.
I choose Timpani.
Sounds like a plan. Timpani throws his hand into the middle of the group. Okay, Re-Slayer stake on 3. 1, 2. Re-Slayer stake!
Oh my god. Okay, the rest of us, let's hide around the corner so we can help whoever needs it. Farah, Timpani, you go to it. Hera, good luck.
Everybody goes to take their positions. Farah and Timpani walking into the line of sight of the orcish gentleman, who stands up a little straighter, holding his crossbow.
All right, Farah, I'll follow your lead. And Timpani gives a big wink.
Farah heads towards the entrance of the jail, as if walking past to get to the next town. Next time you call me old, there'll be a crossbow bolt right between your eyes.
But Farah, you are old. That's just what I was saying. It's the truth.
Farah takes out her crossbow and points it straight at Timpani's face. Say that one more time.
This is really good. You're killing this right now. I'm saying that you're old. It's not a bad thing. It's just what it is.
The orcish fellow looks on with interest.
Farah, noticing that she's got the orc's attention, whips around and clocks Timpani in the face.
Roll an attack.
16.
Hi there, you stop that.
The orcish fellow leaves his post to attempt to break up the fight going on.
Farah, getting into it now, continues to try and push Timpani over, ignoring the orc.
Timpani, being so much bigger than Farah, takes the push and just a little bit too late does a much over-exaggerated fall backwards. Whoa!
Farah, make a performance check with advantage.
21.
The orc drops the crossbow, trying to put himself between Farah and Timpani.
Just relax, relax!
Hey, if you try to push me again, I'll throw you or something.
Meanwhile, Hera, Make a stealth check with advantage.
17.
You creep up to the front door. The orc has no idea that you're there as you lean down to take a look at the lock.
Hira looks at the lock for a moment, and then, just to see, turns the handle to see if it's unlocked.
It is unlocked and the door opens.
Hira gazes into the prison facility.
It's a very small room. You clearly see a staircase towards the back of the room that leads downward. And only opening the door a small crack, you see that there is a fellow seated at a desk, lazily marking something on a large piece of parchment, and another fellow napping in the corner, covered by a large blanket. As you peer across the room, you see there is a window, cracked just a little, behind the fellow writing on the piece of parchment.
Hira carefully whispers to herself and casts thaumaturgy at the window, creating the sound of a knock, hoping to draw the guard's attention.
The guard whips around, confused and surprised.
Hira takes advantage and slinks down the hall, towards the stairs.
Neither the man behind the desk nor the man napping stir. You make your way down the stairs effortlessly. It's extremely dark. There is a thick wooden door at the base of the staircase. A quick attempt at the handle proves it to be locked.
Hira smiles to herself a bit crookedly and unfurls her thieves' tools.
Make a thieves' tools check.
Nat 20.
Like she said, with the greatest of ease, Hira puts one tool in the lock, gives it a sharp twist, and the door silently swings open. It's dark in here, but there's a little bit of light leaking from a ceiling window, a 6-inch barred opening that looks out onto the grass. Cast in this light, you are just barely able to make out the silhouette of a figure sat in the corner, wrapped thoroughly in thick chains.
Janet is sitting hunched in the corner, covered in chains, picking at a new scar on the back of his neck from a fresh tattoo.
Have you brought my balm?
Hira slinks forward, horns first through the darkness, eventually emerging into the light. I suppose when you are on the outside, you can maybe purchase your own balm?
Whoa. You're not a guard?
No.
You don't have balm?
No.
What do you want? I've got nothing to offer you.
Well, you're wrongfully imprisoned, and that makes my skin itch.
Yeah, my skin's itching as well, but that's from a fresh tattoo. Yeah, do you want to have a look? Look, quite good artwork, that, isn't it? I'm quite proud of this one.
Hira looks. Is it good artwork?
Peering at the back of the man's itchy neck, you see what looks like a musical stave that begins below his shirt line, moving up towards behind his ear. It looks exquisitely crafted, with the highest quality ink imaginable.
Well, yes, it is rather nice.
Yeah, I'm a musician.
How has that worked out for you here?
Well, in jail was no audience, really. I mean, I can whistle my own songs, which are beautiful, and, make my own music in my head, but really I come into my own when there's an audience, and you are an audience of one. But, surrounded by these chains, there's not a lot I can do. Could you possibly get me out so I could show you the rest of my pristine artwork and music?
Considering this strange request, Hira regards this captive.
Roll an insight check.
13.
The man's intentions are confusing, but he does not appear to be a threat. While Hira scrutinizes the captive, back outside,
Farah, now genuinely angry because Timpani keeps calling her old, starts punching with wild abandon.
Stop hitting him! You're killing him! Stop it!
Timpani spits out a tooth. You better keep punching me or I'm gonna throw you or something.
The orc attempts to peel Farah off of Timpani. Roll an athletics check.
9.
The guard botches his attempt to try to wrangle you and also ends up in the dirt.
Whoa!
Timpani takes a total of 9 bludgeoning damage. Back down in the basement.
Realizing that the distraction outside won't last forever, Hira presses a vial into Janet's hands.
Whoa, wait a second. I'm confused. I don't know you. You don't know me. You've come to free me. What do you want?
Well, if I were to be completely transparent, which is something I'm working on, I would free you regardless, because, like I said, I've met this comptroller man. I did not take kindly to him, and you deserve your freedom. However, if you were so inclined to repay me and my party with some information, I wouldn't be opposed. But your freedom is not contingent on whether or not you comply with my request.
Janet sits up a little straighter.
That sounds all right, but I think it's important to let you know and your party at this point, I'm a little bit of a lone wolf. Know what I mean?
Hira suddenly remembers she's trying to be stealthy, covers her laugh. Right.
If I could put it another way, if I could maybe throw another metaphor in your general direction, I bang to the beat of my own drum. Or I play to the melody of my own synth, which may be a little clearer later on. But if you would like to free me, I am more than happy to tell you what I know so far. Nice horns, by the way.
A saffron color rises in Hira's ochre cheeks a bit. It's not poison. If you drink it, you'll get your freedom. There are 2 doses in there, so maybe just only drink half.
Taking into account the situation that Janet finds himself in, he takes a deep breath and drinks the potion.
When Janet straightens, the chains fall off of him, slipping right off of his body.
Janet, for the first time in a long time, has the ability to stand, which he does quite painfully, but then turns around to show the rest of his back and body tattoo. It's been unclear all this time because Janet has been hunched over, but Janet is a almost 7 feet tall Goliath wearing a skin-tight singlet and pretty short shorts as well. He is, by all accounts, an impressive creature.
Focusing her attention on the task at hand, Hira shoots an arrow through the grate above in an attempt to signal Adrian and Frog. She then turns to Janet and says, "Do you think you can get those bars off?"
Whoa. First, introductions. I'm Janet.
Janet extends a massive fist towards Hira in an attempt to have a friendly fist bump.
Hira regards the fist for a moment, then realizes it's a greeting and bumps it with her own tiny fist, maybe a third of the size of Janet's.
Thank you, fair maiden? ?
Yes, I am a maiden.
And what's your name?
Hira.
Hira. Sincerely, thank you very much. All right, how do we get out of this pee-pee-soaked egg hole?
Outside, Adrian and Frog, crouching in an alleyway, see an arrow fly out of the small grate. It's definitely one of Hira's arrows.
Is she in trouble?
We need to get down there.
Frog and Adrian make their way towards the grate. Adrian, Frog, both of you make stealth checks. Farah and Timpani and the orc are still struggling out on the front lawn.
11.
5.
Utilizing absolutely no cover, Adrian and Frog begin to creep across the open lawn.
Hey, what are you? Ugh!
As the orcish guard attempts to get Farah off of Timpani, he catches an elbow to the nose.
Adrian, hurry!
Oh, go!
Hey, wait, you can't go back there!
Both Adrian and Frog make it to the grate, peering down to see Hira and a very tall Goliath man peering back up at them.
Whoa, hi!
Who's your friend?
Do you think you can maybe draw the guards away and then we'll just walk out the front?
Oh, I can just pull him outside if you can sneak out.
But then they will see you pull him out and they will chase us?
No, I'll use my magic. I can just pull him outside. I can do what I did to Farah.
But then the guards who are currently pursuing you will be pursuing him.
Get back here!
See?
While the two are talking, Frog kneels down to the grate to inspect the bars to see if she can use her tinker tools to dismantle it.
Roll a Tinker Tools check.
22.
Frog, taking out the very high-quality screwdriver she found in Timpani's studio apartment, goes to work, finding the point where the grate is screwed into the wood. With a quick twist, she dismantles the entire barred apparatus.
Jordyn runs out and throws a firebolt at the guard, and then promptly runs in the opposite direction to try and drive him away.
Roll an attack.
19.
I said don't. Ow!
4 points of fire damage.
Get back here!
The orc takes off after Jordyn, very slow, being hampered by his now ruined chainmail.
Your armor looks like garbage.
How dare you!
Frog throws a rope down to help the two in the jail.
Come on up!
Hira, Janet, both of you make athletics checks or acrobatics checks with advantage.
26.
13.
Hira succeeds. Janet fails.
Janet turns to Hira, eyes down to the floor and his head bowed.
I just, want to tell you something. I have almost 0 upper body strength. I need a boost, is what I'm saying. I can't boost you.
Hira suppresses another chuckle and, with an almost cat-like grace, not even using her legs, flies up the rope with ease. Locking her feet at the top, she extends a hand down to Janet.
Don't worry, I have enough strength for both of us.
Janet shyly smiles and whispers to Hira,
If you could just keep this between you and I would appreciate it. The party don't know that I am not the strongest person in the world.
Discretion is my specialty.
Music's mine, but we'll get into that later.
Hira and Janet's hands clasp, and Hira pulls Janet out. He gets his head and neck out, but his large, vanity muscle-barreled chest jams up his exit.
Whoa, big new friend. Could you use some help?
I'm stuck. My big, massive pectorals are stuck.
Yes, I can tell they are quite large and very pectorial.
Frog grabs one of his arms.
Hira, Frog, make athletics checks.
12. 13.
With their combined efforts, they both yank Janet free. Timpani and Farah, both breathing heavily, join the party around the side.
I mean, you really sold the whole thing, but once the guy left, you didn't have to keep punching me. I think he wasn't looking anymore.
I just wanted to make sure that if he turned around, he didn't see us, not punching each other.
That's a great point. I'm really sorry I questioned your methods. Gee, some crepes, Janet? Timpani immediately recognizes his old buddy, Janet, and runs up and throws him into a hug.
Timpers, how have you been? It's been a while. Oh, I'll tell you what, being in those chains that long, it's made a right mess of my beautiful body.
And you still got it. You're hot as all heck. Sorry we didn't get to you sooner.
No problem whatsoever, Timpers, but you know what? I think we gotta run, guys, because these guards, they must be getting alerted sometime soon.
Janet, as always, you're absolutely right. Now I just got 2 questions for you. Do you still have that cherry caravan? And can you take us to that caravan?
Let's jam.
The Reslayer's Take is a Meta Pigeon production in partnership with and distributed by Critical Role Productions, developed in association with Hero Club. Game mastered and produced by George Primavera and Nick Williams. Featuring Nick Williams as Timpani Guff, George Primavera as Poogs, Jasmine Bhullar as Hira Agnihart, Jasmine Chiong as Farah, Jasper Cartwright as Jordyn Shadowstep, and Caroline Lux as Frog. With special guest Dominic Monaghan as Janet. Also featuring Travis Willingham as Comptroller Jasper, Liam O'Brien as Delphine's father, and Rebecca Meyer as Delphine. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.